Mineski are stacking up towards long A.
Cast has an aggressive push here, and I'm not sure Mineski's going to be prepared for it, but does have that disadvantage in terms of the fact that he does have the UMP, and Dispenser will be able to find that frag. It's an opening there for Mineski now, as Grayhound have 2 players onto each bomb site, as opposed to the 3 towards that you might ordinarily see. Mineski have taken a bit of... Grayhound isn't necessarily in the worst of positions here. Burn with that M4, though, is going to be pretty critical.
Mineski has a map control throw right now. They've managed to make a lot of noise. Just Dispenser with a single play has managed to make sure Mineski hold onto the B-side control and force Grayhound to not make any rotations whatsoever as they are pressing towards the critical site, which is going to be A bomb site. 30 seconds left. Gratisfaction going to be taken out. Dubstep through the smoke. An AWP kill on Dexter. Dick Stacey on the rotate, but there's a lot of members for him to take out, and with a single UMP, it won't do enough damage. Not enough ammunition, not enough damage. Burn might just have to save the M4 for Dick Stacey to go hunting with a UMP. Yeah,
we'll see what Dick Stacey can do here. If he can take a couple of guns out of the hands of Mineski, that's obviously always going to be pretty helpful. Seems like Burn is pretty keen to see if he can get anything done here as well, and I think Dubstep is one of those players that's still on the bomb site, so those guys are going to actually have to cross back away, and there's a chance here for Grayhound to dispatch off that AWP if they can get a nice shot across, as we do see Burn still playing pretty aggressively here. It's actually Dick Stacey that's kind of fallen back. Doesn't see too much. Burn gets 1, but eventually does get traded out there by Guy. Overall, probably not really worth it at that point. Dick Stacey, we'll see what he can do from this position, but he's not seeing too much. It seems like Mineski are going to be quite safe there in long. Some good early signs, though, from Mineski. Dubstep with the AWP, gets a nice shot through the smoke. I mean, Dubstep, for me, is one of those players that you look out on Mineski to really be stepping up and getting into that AWP position very, very early on in the piece. You know, straight investing into that big, expensive weapon and having an impact with it early on. Hopefully, he's going to be able to continue to do that.
Grayhound, though, this is where the serious test for Mineski, I would argue, comes. But in the previous round, it was really well executed. They took their time, they sussed out where the weak points were, and then just pinched off with a few flashbangs, some good entries, and it worked out perfectly. And Dexter just needs to be cautious. Grayhound going to be utilizing the edge of the smoke. That's a perfect utilization because Hannibal is caught completely off by surprise. I don't blame it at all. You don't expect 2C to be boosting over the smoke grenade.
Yeah, well,
Mineski, a man down.
I was talking about Dubstep there with the AWP for Mineski. I think then on the other side of the coin, you do have to talk about Gratisfaction with the AWP here for Grayhound Gaming. Commonly referred to as one of the best, if not the best, AWPer in the Australian region at the moment. There could be arguments for and against that, but he's definitely in form right now, and this team really does rely on him to get some big frags with that AWP. He's always a very, very impactful player for them, and if he's having a good game, then Grayhound is going to probably be able to wipe the floor here with Mineski. But that's not to say that Dubstep's not going to be able to challenge him, because we do know the skill level that Dubstep does possess as well. Dick Stacey does go down to Dispenser. So we're back to a 4 versus 4. Burn's got a lot of information, though, sitting up there on platform. Doesn't see too much coming for him, but now the real push is into effect here for Mineski.
Yeah, but this is the problem. You can't let Guy go out by himself as Dubstep and retract, just coming out a little bit late to get the trade. It allows Burn to just fall back into a safer position, and now the CTs just have a perfect crossfire going. Grayhound, they have to severely misplay, and Mineski might just have to save his Gratisfaction. That's the AWP loss. Retract, trying to find any opportunities, but Grayhound, clean round entry, just a little bit scattered out from the first pick. Dispenser dies, that's all right, 1-for-1 trade. But when you're coming out to B plant, you can't be going out one by one. You've got to be coming out together on the back of the flashbangs.
Yeah, definitely not. And looks like we've got a bit of a pause out here. Tactical pause, I have to imagine that is from Mineski at this point. I mean, 4-1 up, not really much of a reason for Grayhound to call a tactical pause here, particularly given they're going into what is essentially an anti-eco. So for now, Grayhound has actually started off very, very well. I mean, they've had two very solid anti-ecos. Obviously, they end up losing that kind of bonus round, which is, you know, maybe almost to be expected, given the buy that they did have there. Then they have a very, very solid gun round as well. Now, they had the option to take the double AWP through to this round. They've decided not to do that, and we know that the double AWP is something that Grayhound can bring out every now and then. Burn's not too bad as a second AWPer, nor is Dexter. Both of them have picked up the AWP in the past and done relatively well with it. But I think at the moment, really, for Grayhound, they don't necessarily need it. They don't need to be going into anything too crazy. So they've opted not to, and Gratisfaction will be taking away the single AWP in this round. So Mineski have had that little bit of a chat, and we'll see what they can do about it in this round, or probably in the next round, because for here, they've only got the pistols and a little bit of armor, but not too much to work with.
Just trying to go for a bust. And this is probably the correct area to call for the bust, actually. And Dexter's going to be in a lot of trouble with the A4. Shot comes out onto Guy. Dexter now in a bit of trouble, but he's still safe for now.
Rotation's already come across, though, from Grayhound, and you can see now, yes, Dexter may have been in trouble for the moment, but Urquhart comes across. He's going to be able to back up Dexter if push comes to shove. He's also over there for Gratisfaction. So already a great readout from Grayhound, and now Dexter goes for an information play there. Definitely gets some information and some damage as well to boot. So again, a good start into the round here from Grayhound. Mineski, a few of them are tagged up, and Grayhound seems to just be reading the play of the game right now. Far better than Mineski is.
They're making some risky plays when needed to get the information, but generally just playing safe. You can see even this anti-eco, they're not giving any free opportunities. A lot of respectful play coming out from Grayhound, and rightfully so. You don't want to be allowing Dispenser, allowing Dubstep to get it picked and maybe find a rifle. And this is where Urquhart just finds the timing. Dispenser, once again, does get the kill, but a little bit too late. Dexter also falls towards mid. Garance his M4 over on towards Retrack, and Dispenser, now with a Retrieved AK-47, going pretty ham before Gratisfaction on the AWP. Takes down 2. Dispenser 1-on-2. Has the bomb, has an AK in hand, but can't get the spray down. Burn on 3 HP. I'd feel a little bit cheated if I was Dispenser.
Yeah.
But that is a big play. And he is now starting to become the danger man for Mineski.
Yeah.
And Grayhound need to be careful because they're losing guns on their economy.
Definitely does seem like Dispenser is the strongest player at the moment on the field there for Mineski. He's getting a lot of those frags, and that round definitely could have swung either way. I mean, if Dispenser finds a frag there onto one of those two players, either Gratisfaction over on A or Burn over on B, he's essentially got an open bomb site, which then means he can get that bomb down and potentially clutch the round out in a 1v1 situation. Burn does win the duel in the end, but you got to say, Dispenser was very close to being able to clutch that one out. Still, Grayhound do come away with a victory in that round. Mineski, though, buying back into this round. No AWP in the hands of Dubstep this time, but at least they got some AKs. They got a UMP there as well. They've gotten control of the drop room, too.
And they're going fast out through column right now, and Dexter needs to hold on. Good shoulder peeking coming up from Dubstep. Draws the initial fire, and Gratisfaction in a world of hurt. Urquhart, Retrack has got to hit those shots. As Gratisfaction just lurking and waiting, has been surrounded until now. Dispenser, good clearage of the danger positions, and Dubstep holding underneath. He does find one, can't find the second just yet, but will be able to. Finds 2, and Dispenser once again stepping up. Dubstep and Dispenser, the 2 Ds from Mineski, as they take a very quick round on the back of drop room control.
Well, the double Ds there working out pretty nicely, Kevin. And obviously, Dubstep now starting to chime in. He's at 505. I think he was at sort of like 204 or so 205, something like that, before that round did come in. So he's had a pretty good round in that last one. Grayhound, though, their economy, it's struggling a little bit, but it's good enough for them to be able to afford to buy through here. And Gratisfaction, again, with that AWP, playing a bit more of an aggressive line this time, probably due to the fact that Grayhound doesn't have a great buy in this one. They want to try and get Gratisfaction involved in the rounds a little bit earlier, because for me, so far, you know, he's hit a couple of nice shots, but as a general rule, he's been relatively quiet so far in these first 7 rounds. It hasn't really been coming down to the AWP so much for Grayhound right now.
But look at what Mineski are doing right now. They're going in fast. They're just taking this control of Dispenser. He'll go, all right, I'll lose 50 HP. That's perfectly fine. I'll get the kill. But what a flashbang coming out. Retrack, though, with the entry this time around. This is a huge kills coming out from Mineski from Pinoy Pride. And there it is. Burns the last man left standing. Mineski are punishing Grayhound for not taking early round control. And now they'll be going up 3 rounds to 5. Burns dinked out. They know where he is. And he will be very lucky to save the A4 to the next round.
A lot of what Grayhound has been doing so far has essentially been working. You know, they haven't been forced to really change things up too much on that CT side. I think now, you know, having a couple of pretty impressive T rounds come out from Mineski, this is where we're going to start to see Grayhound mobilize a little bit more on the CT side. We're going to see Gratisfaction moving around with that AWP. We're going to see some more aggressive CT pushes, and they're going to try and figure out what they can do up against Mineski, you know, how far they can push those boundaries. For now, though, probably is going to be more of an eco out from Grayhound, so that's probably something that we're going to have to wait for a little bit longer, but obviously, Grayhound now, they've recognized, okay, we can't just sit static in our bomb sites. We can't just wait for Mineski to come to us. And we need to play like we did in that round where Dexter pushed into A main and kind of got the information, got the frags, and obviously won the round there for Grayhound. So I think that they need to try and do something a little bit more aggressive, maybe, on their CT side here.
I don't like it coming out from Mineski. They have to show that they have the tactical chops to bring it out into the late game. You can't just be relying on early game executes, because eventually Grayhound are just going to blow all their incendiary grenades early. And Burn, he has to win aim duels on the back of the saved A4, but this should be another round for Mineski. Once again, another fast push. It's working out for Mineski. Why change it if it's broken? Yeah,
Dexter just dancing around that smoke right now, not really being able to find too much. Obviously, a little bit difficult now that Mineski have managed to get that bomb down on the B side itself. Urquhart does go down to Retrack. Dispenser is in a pretty good position here. It feels like Gratisfaction kind of knows where he is there, but overall still not managing to land the frags, and only one frag goes the way of Grayhound there. Mineski, another cheer out from their booth. It seems like every single round that they get right now is making them just a little bit happier.
You got to get hyped. You can't just come into... They know that the underdog's coming in, but you got to believe that you can be the underdog and upset I guess, who we're expecting to be the champions.
Yeah.
And that's the right way to do it every single round. Doesn't matter, small, big, you fire up as a unit, you push forward. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're backing themselves up and doing it so rightfully. Maybe a bit of a slower round coming forward is Grayhound. They've had to force up a little bit more into this round because you can see that Urkast, Dexter, and Burn don't have all the necessary utility. There's lack of Incendiary Grenade, and this is a great change-up. Mineski now making a contact play. Dig stays completely caught off guard. Grayhound, they need to start adapting and changing because they're just getting completely caught off. Urkast now the only solo defense, and look at that. Dispenser, once again, 2 kills. This man dispensing out bullets in the head of Greyhounds.
Yeah, great stuff here from Mineski. Just relentless, quick aggression out onto either bomb site. It doesn't matter if it's A site, it doesn't matter if it's B site. We are seeing Grayhound just fold across the board, and it seems like Mineski, it's not necessarily like executes or anything like that. They're just flashing in, getting in there easily, and Grayhound doesn't really have an answer. So I don't know what Grayhound's going to do here in response to that, but it needs to be something pretty quickly because up to 5-5 now is where we're going to be sitting, and well, Mineski have the potential to start to pull ahead in this first half. Now, traditionally speaking, we might probably associate Cobblestone with a little bit more of a T-sided map, but not too much. So I'd hope, for Greyhound's sake at least, that they're going to be able to come back and pull this to, let's say, 7-8, worst case scenario.
Well, the trend definitely has changed. His retrack, oh my goodness, gets a crucial kill to make sure that one of the rifles cannot be carted over. Dexter will barely be able to live. Mineski, so far it's just they're sprinting in, they're making the contact play work. That's against Greyhound, who are not using their incendiary grenades early.
Well, Greyhound don't have any incendiary grenades.
Exactly. So
round.
when in the next round where Greyhound will that change come forward? Will that change?
We'll we're going to have to wait and see, I guess, really, because it's up to Greyhound at this point. A little bit slower of a play out here from Mineski this time. Perhaps expecting kind of a push coming out from these pistols from Greyhound. Burns having a bit of a look, and with that deagle, he can be pretty dangerous, so Mineski definitely want to be careful there. Gets another shot in. Dubstep's down relatively low there.
It's a difficult shot for Dubstep to hit because Burn can just shoulder peek the entire angle and just keep pre-firing away and just chipping away with damage. Mineski needs to just start slowly rotating around, try blocking out some of the CTs as Urkast goes for a play, won't work out because Dispenser, he's been so reliable for Mineski so far.
Yeah, definitely. He's been very, very good throughout the first 10 rounds, and I guess now into this 11th round here of Cobblestone. Dick Stacey's going to go for a peek as well. Key just watching that angle, not finding the frags just yet, but Dick Stacey falls off the line. Looks like he's going to go for a re-peek here. Doesn't work out too well for him. 2 players already lost now for Greyhound. You have to think that that all but wraps up this round for Mineski, barring some huge individual play coming out here from perhaps Dexter with that M4A4. He finds one. He's looking for the second as well and almost gets that, but Burn is actually able to clean that one up. Now finds an AK, and he's got a bead there onto Hannibal, but doesn't manage to land any of the shots that he does need. 25 seconds here for Mineski. They need to get across into that bomb site and try and get that bomb down. But what Greyhound don't know is there is that player coming around from the back. It is retrack with the AK, and it should surely be Dexter going down here. It will indeed be, as he gets burned as well. That's the 2 danger men. Gratisfaction, though, has a chance still to clutch this round out. He's found himself an AK, and he drops the bomb planter just after that bomb does go down. Dubstep now finds himself in a 1v1.
Dubstep with the AWP, Gratisfaction with the AK-47. If Mineski lose this, it will be an absolute disaster. But Dubstep just watching over the bomb. Tags on both sides. Dubstep has a smoke grenade to work with, but he's going to switch to the pistol, and he'll pull out the pistol and finish off the job. Huge plays coming out from Dubstep. A little bit of a closer round. Now out comes the pause from Mineski. Looks like it's a technical pause, but that will give a little bit of reset time for Greyhound potentially, as well as Mineski, just to cool off a little bit. They'll go, all right, that anti-eco, we did win it. It was a little bit hairy though. We lost a lot of guns.
Yeah, well, while this is a technical pause for Mineski, I wouldn't have been entirely surprised to see a tactical pause coming out from them just there as well, because that was definitely a round that they should have closed out a little bit more solidly than they did. I mean, they got the 2 initial picks there onto Urkast, onto Dick Stacey, but then Burn and Dexter as well with that M4A4 able to cause a bit of a problem for Mineski. Get it down to the 1v1. I mean, Gratisfaction was very close to winning that one, and had Greyhound pulled that one away, I mean, that's really bad news then for Mineski. Their economy starts to get a little bit worrisome. Obviously, they'll get a buy through regardless, but, I mean, that just gives a couple of guns over to Greyhound, perhaps, and Greyhound's going to feel like, great, we're back into this half, but not the case, as Mineski do clutch it out, or I suppose Dubstep does clutch it out there against Greyhound. But good early signs still for Mineski. I mean, I say early signs, we're now 11 rounds in, or into the 12th round.
It's been great signs so far. I mean, given that Greyhounds had a very dominating 5-0, or was it 5-0 or 5-1 start?
5-1.
It was a 5-1 start. And Mineski, yeah, they ran 2-3 quick strategies, and Greyhound didn't adapt. You've got to adapt, especially even though it's very simple, it's very simplistic, but they executed it perfectly. You get the simple things done right, you're rewarded.
Yeah, well, they are being rewarded right now. I mean, a 6-5 is, the job's not yet done. Like, we're praising Mineski right now for the performance that they're putting in here against Greyhound, but in reality, this first half is still kind of hanging in the balance. The next round, if it goes the way of Greyhound, that's probably Mineski again onto an eco, and Greyhound then starts to build their first half back into it, and Mineski running out of time here to potentially force Greyhound back into a poor position, because Greyhound, they'll be wanting more than this, right? They definitely want more than 5 in their first half.
Both teams definitely want more.
I still feel like we've got something left in the tank here for Greyhound.
Absolutely, but I like to give credit where credit's due towards the Pinoy team.
Yep.
They've done well to bring it back. 5-1 deficit is not easy.
We got to remember, this is also Mineski's map pick. So this is the map that we want to see them having a little bit more success on. They need to be beating out Greyhound on this one. I really do think when we do get to Inferno, I mean, we've seen Greyhound play Inferno so many times, and to great success as well. I have to think that they're going to have an advantage on there, but for the moment, at least, it seems like Mineski has a bit of an advantage here on the first half of Cobble. We'll see how Greyhound do go on their T side as well, but Mineski right now coming back into this one with a buy and Gratisfaction. A little bit of an aggressive line again with the AWP, but not spotting out too much, as most of the Mineski players are headed over towards the B-bomb site through the castle.
That's been chilling out. Greyhound have already used a few early incendiary grenades, which is good from them. They acknowledge the early round danger from Mineski, and now playing the patient waiting game, not playing aggressive, just waiting for the reaction. But look on how Greyhound have changed their setup. Normally we'd expect 3 towards the B side, 2A if you're a very confident defensive team. The fact that they've started forcing 4 more towards this B side, they are scared of Mineski. That is the only reason you stack 4 on the B side very early on. Is because you know that Mineski, if they come 5-person coming into your site, you're going to lose the fights.
Well, Dick Stacey spots out a little bit of information there. There's one of those early incendiaries that you were talking about, Kevin. Not super early, but early enough that it does keep Mineski at bay, and one pick does go the way of Greyhound here. So perhaps we're going to set ourselves up now for a little bit more of a stabilized gun round out of Greyhound. Still 4 players left alive, though, for Mineski, and the 2 danger men are still there on the field as well. That's Dubstep and Dispenser that I am talking about. Mineski are going to be hoping that those 2 are going to be able to find something big here, as Burn just perhaps playing with fire there by peeking up and down behind that smoke. Dubstep is more or less watching that angle.
But with the AWP just sticking out the edge of the wall, he knows there's a very minimum 2B plat, and there's no time to rotate. There is only one place that Mineski can push towards. That's going to be the B bomb side. The flashbangs, everyone's blind, and now Burn's going to come out alongside with Dick Stacey. 2, 3 kills on the B plat. Hannibal's come out just a little bit too late out of drop. Mineski just left it too late. Greyhound were able to gather all the relevant information, and that is the danger we were talking about earlier on. If Mineski bleeded out towards the late game where Greyhound start getting a read of the situation, they won't be able to bust it out. So maybe they'll go for something fast once again. But Greyhound, they've got incendiary grenades in their hand to stop anything quick. They've just got to make sure that the aim's on point.
So Mineski did have quite a bit more change than I thought that they did, so they're going to be able to get a full buy through in this round once more. Next round, it could look a little bit up in the air, depending on whether or not the bomb does go down and how many guns are saved through here. But Gratisfaction again, just holding a little bit more of a passive line this time out on the A ramp, but aggressive nonetheless, as he does find the first pick there onto Retrack, who was definitely not expecting him to be there, and he's going to go for a little bit more of a push there. Has to fall back as he is flashed off the angle. There's a heavy ace tank actually out from Greyhound with 3 players over in that direction, and ends that Mineski is showing on that area of the map. Dexter just jumping up, firing over that smoke. We'll find Dispenser as well. That's not what you want to see if you are a supporter of them.
And had the early success, but what is them in the incorrect areas, which is really starting to make the difference coming into the buy rounds. Gabe going to be throwing a smoke towards A just to try to decoy the fact that Mineski are trying to stack up for a B-side hit, but they're already down so many numbers, and Burn's just been periodically just shoulder peeking, spotting the angle.
Yeah, well, that could be his undoing here. If he continues to do that, Hannibal slowly trying to make his way forward. Burn still not really too aggressively peeking that line, and now Dubstep. Oh, there was a little bit of a moment there where he could have been in danger had Burn taken the timing. But Hannibal out onto the B site. It's not going to work out too well for him. Urcast finds the first, Burn the second, and Urcast the third, as Greyhound do shut that round out very, very nicely. 5 guns left alive. Now looking good here in the first half. Mineski probably forced back onto just a pistol and armor buy in this one. They didn't get the bomb down. Retrack is going to go for an AK.
That's fine. He had 5.9k.
Exactly. He had a little bit of extra cash. The rest of them are just going to go for some pistol and armor. And so Grayhound now in a position to turn this into an 8-7 minimum kind of a half. But then even further, they could go for that 9-6. I think at this point, Grayhound's looking pretty good to do that.
Urquhart's now under pressure, but he's still charging forward with the AK-47. Mineski still pushing forward, but the numbers are already right now ready with the rifles for the shutdown.
Well, Urquhart knew that he had the backup there of his teammate. So even if he would have gone down, the trades should have been there for Grayhound regardless. Retrack trying to spray through that smoke to get some damage out, but realistically speaking, you know, no one's done anything with those pistols. He's now in a 1 versus 5. There's not much that he's going to be able to do here. I mean, yeah, we always talk about taking some guns out of the hands of the CT economy, but really, it's the last round of the half, so it wouldn't have made too much of a difference unless he would have gotten... Well, I mean, it wouldn't have made any difference given the money that the Grayhound have
Do they buy body armor on the side of Mineski? Because that may not be the best decision
they
on
did
some
buy,
of their members.
They bought body and head armor on a couple of them.
Yeah, it's not the best decision because you see Hannibal has to go for the weaker firepower and there's not that much utility. Doesn't matter if Mineski go for something quick, though.
Yeah, he could just be that sacrificial lamb that jumps in first with the UMP, tries to do some crazy things. So, I mean, overall, not too bad of a buy, really, from Mineski at this point. Grayhound, again, push out from Gratisfaction, this time onto A-Long, and I like what he's doing right now on the CT side, being very mobile with the AWP, which is what we expect to see from a player like Gratisfaction. Just 48 HP, though, he did take a bit of a tag. And it's a good start there for Mineski now, as Dubstep does find Gratisfaction.
Over-aggression from Gratisfaction, showing himself towards long A, lucky not to be punished by the AK-47 after missing the angle, and now Dubstep, just watching towards danger, was able to be rewarded with another kill, or with the kill, should I say. Now Mineski, they have to make their numbers work out much slower round. They're just making progression, not making noise, not giving anything away until it's too late for Greyhounds to react. And that's another great entry coming out from Dispenser. The solid rock.
Well, they don't know that Dexter is there at the moment. They have not checked danger. He's going to be able to creep out around behind Long. In the meanwhile, Burn does find one, but Dexter's in a great spot here. He's going to spot out 2 of those players. Could deny the bomb plant. Waiting, I think, for the bomb plant, but has to take the timing. Great work there from Dexter. They had no idea where he was, and he pulls it back to a 2v2. But all of a sudden, we're into a 1v1. It's Dick Stacey up against Dubstep.
Big rig up against Dubstep. And both of them have spotted each other out. APC. Oh, flick from Dubstep's not going to connect. He doesn't have armor.
Well, Dick Stacey doesn't really need to be taking peeks like this right now. He's actually managed to cross into the side, and Dubstep still thinks he's near the APC. Great work from Dick Stacey. Excellent timing. 9 and 6 is going to be the half there for Grayhound. I think that's, I mean, fairly par score for both of those two teams, but I do think it leans a little bit towards Grayhound now. I mean, if it was 8-7, you can be like, okay, great, we've got a pretty equal first half. I feel like 9-6 is maybe just a little bit too much there. Grayhound have done well.
Both sides will be very happy with a half. Given, once again, the context, 5-1, Mineski going to be happy with their 5-round resurgence, where they were just barely in the lead, 6-5.
Yep.
And the Greyhounds, as soon as they got the guns up, then they knew how to adapt. They've got the experience to adapt. They knew what to do, and then from there on in, you saw that Mineski was completely shut out. Now Mineski have to dig deep on the CT side because there are some cracks. I mean, there are some positives. We can talk about Dubstep. We can talk about Retrack also stepping up. We can also obviously talk about Dispenser because Dispenser's been playing like an absolute monster so far in front of the home crowd. But Hannibal needs to step up. 2 kills only, or maybe 3 kills. It's not good enough. And on the CT side, you will be punished if you're not landing your shots.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting second half here coming out. Remember, Mineski's map pick is Cobblestone, so this is the one that we hope for them to win if they want to pull this one through to map number 3. I'm not giving them much faith there on Inferno, but perhaps I'm wrong. Who knows? We'll have to find out. Now, though, Grayhound coming back into that pistol round on the T side. Hannibal is isolated at the moment.
But he's able to escape out if Grayhound do not check the angle. And Hannibal, he will fall, though. It's Grayhound, just a very, very quick danger push for information. They're rewarded with a kill, and they're just going to fall back all the way towards... they're going to fall back and just let Mineski try to make a play before they take a bomb site for themselves. And Mineski... losing more members on individual picks, definitely not going to be good as Dubstep. He needs to at least find 1 kill. That's a good start for Mineski now, but they're still down a number.
The wrap is coming in, though, from Grayhound, and Dick Stacey being able to find 1 there is absolutely huge. He's going to keep the CTs battling him, and he finds 2. He's almost single-handedly won this round now for Grayhound as they just waltz into the A-bomb site. No care in the world. Get the bomb down, and it's only Dubstep left alive.
he might just try to save the body armor forward. I know it sounds a little bit foolish. I mean, you're saving 650, but there is no chance. You're on the B site. They know exactly where you are. Trying to come in and play a 1-on-4 with no kit, absolutely impossible. He's just going to try and get any kills, make sure that his next anti-eco, because Mineski will force up, judging by how they did force up after they lost the first pistol round. He'll be able to get a little bit more. He'll be able to buy a Deagle, maybe a few more grenades. He doesn't have to reinvest in 650, but only if he survives. And that's another 300 in the bank with a crisp headshot on Dick Stacey.
Yeah, not too bad of a result there for him, at least. I mean, he gets something out of this round, which is better than we can say for the rest of the Mineski players. The Grayhound do come away with the pistol there. It's the second pistol round that they've won.
So the 2K, he could maybe buy a Deagle, smoking a few flashbangs, or he can just save because he wants to get the AWP. So a P250 actually, not a bad choice. He wants to get the AWP out as soon as possible, as the rest of Mineski will kind of have a split force. Some of them investing fully, others just investing in the Deagle.
Big Stacey opens things up there onto Hannibal. It's nice to start off an anti-eco like that, just get a pretty easy pick. It means the power in numbers is going to be favourable here for Grayhound. I'd like to see a couple of those kills coming out though onto the UMPs for Grayhound here, just to build up that economy quicker.
Doesn't matter about economy at the stage. On the T side, you don't have to worry as much. It's just a nice reassuring, you know, if things go awry, we can pull out an AK-47, maybe 2 AK-47s. But they're cruising towards what will be a 12-6 lead, by the looks of it, unless someone from Mineski can step up. Dispenser's already tagged down very low with the CZ. Sniper's favorite gun.
Oh, it's fair and balanced.
That's if you ask Sniper. There's Gee with the 5-7.
Yeah, now the real push is going to come out here from Grayhound. Good opening there for Burn, but Retrack with the CZ does find a couple and keeps the round interesting here, at least for Grayhound. Dispenser's going to have a big job to do. He's the one close to the site, but only 21 HP. He's going to have some crisp headshots with that CZ if he has any real hope of fighting a... Well, never mind. Dexter gets 2. Round over. Grayhound do pick that one up. 11 and 6 is where they're at now. I mean, it was a little bit expensive for Grayhound, dropping a few guns, but realistically speaking, this is the round now where they can really start to farm up. Urkas knows it. He's got himself a MAC-10, and we'll see what kind of shenanigans he can do.
Just start sprinting full force either at B-plat or drop and make the MAC-10 work out, because you know Mineski will only have USPs and maybe P250s if they're lucky. They're actually slowing down and going together, which is good in terms of, yeah, that's good team play. It makes me a little bit sad because I did want to see the MAC-10 in action a lot faster.
Oh, well, we might yet still see the MAC-10 in action. Looks like Urkas is not too concerned about much, and he's going to drop down. He's going to find Dispenser here around the corner, or at least pre-fires a little bit. Does take a headshot there, but gets the frag anyway. Dexter will get Dispenser as well in the meanwhile. And, I mean, Grayhound is taking a fair bit of damage here, actually, but in the end, they only lose one player, so that's pretty successful.
Yeah, heavy damage, but USPs and P250s, never going to win you around, unfortunately, unless Grayhound make a critical error. Now Mineski, this is where the M4s come out, this is where the AWP comes out, and this is probably the second final chance in this entire half, assuming that they'll lose it, for them to make a dent. If they're able to take this with a lot of guns going forward, this will be a solid CT comeback potentially.
Potentially, but that involves them picking up this round here, so it's going to be a little bit difficult, particularly when Dexter's managed to find a very, very early frag there onto Dispenser, who for us has really been the pick of the bunch for Mineski. That's their strongest player at the moment, down and out of this round. Makes the job a lot easier for Grayhound.
But look at where the rest of Grayhound already are. They've just completely navigated all the danger in Long A. Now they're coming towards Long A. Hannibal's like, oh, why are there people there? And Gee has just gone, well, they didn't come Long A. At the same time, Dexter will just secure any chance that Mineski have rotations. Dubstep and Gee just have to save their rifles forward to the next round, but this is where it starts becoming painful. Yeah. Individually, if you're not hitting your shots, where you're losing that map territory because you don't have the grenades, that's where Grayhound will take that little centimeter and take it in towards an entire mile. They'll just change the metric system.
Well, that's, yeah, I mean, that's impressive. So has this round been for Grayhound as well. Dexter's going to catch Dubstep off guard, looking at the wrong angle. A little unfortunate for him. Gee should be okay to save that gun all the way to the
Sniper tower, isn't he?
Sniper tower, yeah. But realistically, what difference is it going to make? Maybe a little bit.
Look at Urkas, who's coming in quickly though, and you might be ascending up the ladder to try to find Gee. I mean, time is running out. There's a flashbang, even the small things, but Gee is spraying backwards, pedaling and hoping that he gets the kill. We'll be able to at least save the A4 and land the frag, but it doesn't change the fact that Mineski have lost.
Oh, actually, just the pistols out from Mineski here. So they've all got CZs. Grayhound, their economy is not really phased by dropping Aircast that late in the round. I mean, they've got heaps of money to play with here. So losing only one gun there. Great round for Grayhound. And coming now into round number 20, looking for that 14-6 to make it really just ever so more difficult for Mineski to come back into this. I mean, if they get 14 here, I think that might just be the nail in the coffin really for Mineski at this point. But starting off okay is Dispenser again, being the one to make an impact here for Mineski as he finds that opening frag, finds the AK as well. It would be so nice to see him here, just with a little bit of body armor. Maybe makes a bit of a difference now, but all he needs is headshots. That's what Burn's getting.
Is just always so reliable. You want someone like Burn in your team all the time. Just someone who gets 2-3 kills. Doesn't have to be a superstar player, but Dispenser keeping the fragging happening, keeping the dreams alive. 3 kills in the round, brings it back to a 2-on-2. Yep. There are 2 members on the B side. Retrack, we've seen what he can do with the CZ so far, and Gee still has the A4 in hand. Dick Stacey has to land the headshot, and Retrack and Gee will be able to take a force buy for Mineski and Grayhound. Well, welcome to Philippines. You brought Australia with you, I guess, losing an anti-eco.
Yeah, 17-16 there for Dispenser. He's the only one that's going positive right now for his team, but definitely the kills that he's having. I mean, you could be like 17-16. He's getting a lot of eco frags, that kind of thing. Right now, I think all of those frags are pretty much impact frags, and he is single-handedly pulling Mineski through this one, kicking and screaming. 13-7 is where we're at. I mean, Mineski now have a bit more of a chance, obviously a little bit more of a couple of rounds to play with. Dubstep goes down very early on there, so Grayhound have changed up the pace very, very quickly into the B-bomb site. Burn gets 2. Dexter not quite able to find a frag here just yet. But overall, Grayhound have been able to get that bomb down, or they are about to get that bomb down. As we do see Grayhound now in a 4v2 situation with a good post-plant scenario set up for them.
Mineski were not expecting such a fast push out of B flat, and you could see that their members completely blinded out. There was no counter utility coming forward, and that is one of the, I guess, crucial parts of the CT hold. You need to be able to lock down B plat in the first 20 seconds. If you're unable to, Grayhound, or any team that's on the T side that's rushing it, should be able to punish you. And you saw it, as soon as that incendiary grenade came out, it was too late. 2 members of Grayhound were already out. Burn's already pushing down alley after the kill the AWPer. The trades work favorably. It doesn't matter what Mineski do at this stage. I mean, this is just salt and wound, right? You're losing your guns on the T's chasing, and Retrack He's got a lot of work to do, but he's surrounded from all angles. Yeah, no way he should survive this one. They have spotted him out. Burn wrapping around the corner. Dexter actually does get the frag in the end there. So 14-7 is now Grayhound's scoreline. Mineski have been on the reset as well. So this is not good news. I mean, yes, they got that one round where they kind of clutched out with the pistols and the one M4. But really all it's done is kind of put them in an even worse position now, given the fact that they're not even going to be able to buy into the round that Grayhound should be securing match point with. They have to force, though. You can't
they have to, yeah. No, I'm
and there are members with enough cash to get a few utility as well as rifles, so it's not doomsday for them just yet. But just given how the trend is going, I mean, Grayhound, the way that we can predict it, yeah, Grayhound will win. But it's just a matter of, can Mineski hit the 10-round mark? It'll be a big struggle for them to get another 3 rounds. I think winning the game is out of contention at this stage. They've let too many rounds bleed through in Grayhound. Just clinical domination on the T side. This is on a map that they don't even play that much.
Yeah, I don't think that this is going to be getting to 16-10 at least for Mineski. I mean, yeah, they get the buy through, but okay, they've got 2 rifles there with a little bit of utility, but you can see obviously they're lacking a bit across the board. So Mineski, it's a bit of a troublesome situation for them now. I mean, Gee's pushed forward here with that 5-7. Maybe he can make a bit of an impact with a bit of an aggressive position, a bit of an off angle that maybe Grayhound don't expect, but overall, I think Grayhound's probably a little bit too good to be caught off by something like this.
Despite their time, they don't have to push anywhere in particular, and they're just going to make a contact play out of mid, and Gee with a close range 5-7 finds 2. Can't find any more though. That's sometimes why you want the 5-7 close enough to get the first insta-shot headshot kill.
Yep, certainly works out for him nicely, and pretty crucial frag for him there, but he doesn't manage to land it, and Hannibal finds another one with the CZ. So Grayhound now left reeling a little bit. That's a lot of guns over to Mineski, or at least the AK there for Hannibal. Tubstep and Retrack still alive, so it's 3 rifles now for Mineski. The pistols working out very, very nicely. Just goes to show that you cannot underestimate a side with that kind of a buy, regardless of how well you are doing here as Grayhound. Hannibal survives on 2 HP, perhaps a little lucky not to go down there. The The push is going to come into the B-bomb site by those two remaining Grayhound players, Dick Stacey and Gratisfaction, looking for some frags here to make the bomb site open up. Hannibal gets another one with that AK, and despite the fact that he's only got 2 HP, he's still making things work. Eventually does go down there, but Grat, he sees Dispenser. I think he realized that he was running a little bit too far out, and he was like, hang on, that's not normal. But in the end, does go down anyway. It's 14-8. Mineski pull another one away.
And Gabe this time alongside with Hannibal stepping up. Hannibal 4 kills so far, but 2 kills of impact is what Mineski needed just to keep the dream alive. But Grayhound just bio assault rifles. They know Mineski's economy is poor, and this is going to be another fast B plat push. The smokes have already come out, thrown from T-spawn. There's a flashbang. Where are the counter-incendiary grenades? That's good. Counter-incendiary grenades to make sure that Grayhound cannot push further beyond the threshold. Allow Mineski just to settle a little bit. Just make things work out as Retrack will find the first opening with the silenced M4. And you can't lose a bomb like that, Grayhound, because they're coming through drop, but they're coming in all strong out. And Dick Stacey, last man left standing, doing damage still. Where's the push coming out from Mineski? They're pushing in 1 by 1. You can't push in 1 by 1 to Dick Stacey. He's still firing away, but eventually it's going to be put down. But that's a lot of economical damage done.
Yeah, now you can sort of hear the crowd starting to get a little bit involved in this one as they think maybe it is possible here for Mineski to pull it back. I mean, I said 16-10, almost improbable, but Grayhound definitely making that an opportunity now for Mineski. It's going to have to be an eco out here from Grayhound. They have lost a couple of rounds in a row, so fair enough. And Grayhound, I mean, that one, it just seemed like they were really just trying to overwhelm Mineski.
You can't do
Straight
that.
off the bat, they went straight towards the B-bomb site, got turned away by those Molotovs, decided, great, we're going to go down drop and just YOLO out into connector. Didn't work out at all for Grayhound. I mean, they've got to give respect over to Mineski right now. And, well, do we have a game on our hands right now, Kevin?
Absolutely, because this is where Mineski, I mean, it was effectively a 3-on-5 for the first half. Now it's finally a 5-on-5. Hannibal has started getting kills. He's going to start feeling better about himself because he's like, imagine going 2 kills on your entire T-half. You would just go, man, this feels absolutely atrocious. And then Guy didn't have much choice of the action. Speaking of which, Guy and Hannibal, 2 picks apiece before Dick Stacey with a Deagle finds a nice shot. And can he find the second? No, he can't, because Hannibal and Dispenser finding more assault rifle kills. It's an eco, sure, but they're doing it by keeping most of these rifles up. If they can keep the 4 rifles forward, this is going to be good.
That's going to be pretty critical as well here for Mineski throughout the rest of this half. They'll need to keep that economy strong. Any moment where there's a sign of weakness, Grayhound is going to jump upon that. But Hannibal dispatches of Gratisfaction very easily. We another buy-through in this round here from Grayhound. Probably just the rifles out. Don't think they're going to go for the AWP here. Indeed, they will not. Mineski, though, do have themselves an AWP in the hands of Dubstep. And, yeah, all of a sudden, like, we've gone from, what, 2 kills for Hannibal now to 9 in the space of 2 or 3 rounds. He's really starting to have an impact here for Mineski, and that's what they've been lacking here. They haven't been able to challenge Grayhound, essentially playing 4v5. But now where do they go from here with only 4 rounds behind Grayhound?
So 2 things that Grayhound needs to do. Make sure you don't give away the opening picks. Get this low map territory and start forcing Mineski to push around Dispenser. Get these kills on your critical players like Dispenser, because he's doing work right now. But at the same time for Mineski, there is one big danger they don't want to be jumping into, and that's the over-rotation. You cannot over-rotate on Cobblestone. And that is, they're doing well. They've made a little bit of contact. They're going, okay, we're still holding our positions, but as time dies away, they need to make an aggressive play. Utilize your flashbangs wisely, utilize your smokes, push Grayhound over this territory, control it, and make Grayhound have to expend utility themselves to regain that territory.
Yeah, definitely. For the moment, Grayhound not pushing too aggressively. Got a little bit of control into long there, a bit of control into mid, and some up at the drop room, but they're not quite yet actually down drop. It's going to be Dexter again in that lurk role, trying to keep the B players at bay. Trying to keep them from rotating across Urquhart very silently, jumping down. This is just a matter of time before Grayhound have to execute out onto this A-bomb site.
This is all up to Guy right now. He has to step up. He's stepped up so far, but how are they going to go? He's tagged him down. He's going to take down Urquhart. Urquhart's tagged down before, but Guy also finds another one before. Finally, the trades came up from Grayhound. Hannibal doing damage, but can't get the kills, unfortunately. Burned down towards 5 HP. They're now locked behind flashbangs and smoke grenades. And Dexter, he's now locking down the previous position. They can't push out.
Yeah, that's where Dexter now has to become a very, very impactful player, because he's got almost a free frag there on a Dubstep if he gets the timing right, which he does indeed, and that makes life difficult here for Mineski, but they don't know, or Grayhound does not know where Dispenser is. Coming around from the back, he's going to find 2. It leaves it off to Dexter, who does get the trade back, but he has no idea where Retrack is and doesn't quite manage to calibrate the aim quick enough. Mineski again, that wrap around through long, proving to pay dividends for them. Another round goes their way. An expensive one to be fair, but it's a round nonetheless, and that's what Mineski needs right now.
And once again, it is Dispenser stepping it up. Gee and Dispenser, sure, 2 kills, you can't expect it all the time. But Mineski are doing all the small things right. They're not over-rotating. I mean, it was just unfortunate for Dubstep, right? He knew what was going on, but he just couldn't find the kill. But that allows time for Dispenser to slowly crawl around the back. He's just patient. He knows he's got time to work with. You don't need to be sprinting and making noise, and he's rewarded. And Grayhound, their economy is pretty broke right now. They forced up AK-47s, but where's the utility? They may have to go for somewhere quickly, and Dispenser in a critical position once again. Dubstep, AWP trained down, needs to get the kill. Close range, Dispenser spraying forward. Dubstep will get the kill, but Dick Stacey gets the trade out. Retrack going to be leaving his position. Dubstep caught in no man's land as Dick Stacey now going huge. 3 kills, but Hannibal, there is the 2 kills. They're expecting the impact back down towards a 2-on-2. How many times did these rounds go towards a 2-on-2 clutch? Once again, Urcast, oh my goodness, will catch off Hannibal by surprise. 1-on-1.
It's a 1-on-1 this time. It's Dexter that is tasked with the job for Grayhound. Guy for Mineski. And so far, I'd have to say the clutches have been relatively even. They're probably 50-50 split at this point. Dexter trying to figure out where exactly Guy is. He does have control of the bomb, so there is that small advantage. He's going to walk right into the line that Guy is holding, but he wins the duel, and Grayhound will go up 15-11. One more round on the board now is needed for Grayhound, and I mean, it was an expensive round for both teams. Both are going to have a bit of a wonky buy coming through into this one. Mineski, I think, are going to have the worst of it, though.
Yeah, only a single AWP and pistols. That is absolutely heartbreaking for Mineski because they were doing so much work. And Guy, I thought he had won it. His A4 positioning was perfect, but Dexter was able to win the 1-on-1 deal. And you're right, that just boils down towards a coin flip sometimes. And unfortunately, it favored Grayhound for the local crowd. Grayhound's economy not in the best shape as well, though. 3 AK-47s, glue and a UMP. They're struggling still. Mineski have pushed them hard.
Definitely have pushed them hard. Harder than I thought they were going to be pushed. But it's not over just yet, Kevin. Could go to 15-15. I mean, we've seen quite a few rounds in a row from Mineski. It's not like it's impossible. Need to see a big impact, though, from this AWP retrack already. Down to 45 HP. I mean, the CZs have been pretty impactful for Mineski, not to mention the 5.7s as well. So who's to say this round can't go the way of Mineski? Grayhound will start to try and get control of that drop room. Gratisfaction throwing a little bit over into the B bomb site. So trying to fake that one out a little bit as the rest of the players make their way over towards A. Dexter finds one onto Dispenser. That's been the danger man here for Mineski. He's down. It's going to have to be the rest of those players to make an impact. And Grayhound, well, they do lose Dexter to start things off, as now the push comes into the A bomb site. Gratisfaction and Burn finding a killer piece. Urquhart getting some good positioning towards the top of Stables, but Dubstep still lurking on that bomb site itself. He needs to go down here for Grayhound to pretty much secure the round, and he does manage to find one, although Retrack actually gets one. Dubstep finds another one, and Mineski now 2 versus 2. 20 seconds left for Grayhound to plant that bomb. It's now a 1v1 again, Kevin.
And Retrack with the AWP. Oh, he won't be able to tag Burn on the cross, and Burn does not know where he is. And Retrack's picked up 2 kills so far with the AWP. Burn has to commit to the plant soon. He's just gonna stick it, and Retrack pushing forward. A shot to minute for Mineski. 12-15. Huge round coming out from Retrack. Clutch after clutch from Mineski. Their economy, well, it's not going to be looking pretty, but neither is Greyhounds.
Well, at least they've managed to find the round. It's better to have a bad economy and coming into round number 28 as opposed to having a good economy and having lost the match. Well, not that you're going to have a good economy if you've lost the match. But anyway, Greyhound, they're going to have to eco this one out, and Greyhound are very much struggling to close this map out. They've had so many opportunities, so many rounds. They had such an advantage, but they just seem to be unable to find a way to win those clutches when they need to.
That's also because the Mineski players are now starting to step up individually as well. They're playing it. They know, yeah, it's dire, but you know what they say. It's always darkest before dawn.
Indeed it is. Apparently, as Dispenser finds one there onto Burn, he's been completely flashed out. Dick Stacey and Dexter getting some crucial openings over on the B bomb side, and now again it looks like a possible favourable situation for Greyhound as they've retrieved some weaponry and they've got a player advantage as well. No bomb planted just yet, but it will be fairly straightforward for them to get it. Mineski going for a little bit of a wrap again. They do like to send a player around the back, and this time it is going to be Guy coming around, getting boosted up through drop. And now the push does come out. Mineski don't find the first frag. Well, they do, but there's a trade out there for Grayhound, and that's all they need at this point. Dexter finds another one. It is Dubstep to go down as the last player left alive, and Grayhound will close it out 16-12. Mineski, they had a good fight back, but it just wasn't quite enough. They lost too much early on.
Unfortunately so. I mean, that was probably the worst way to lose as well. Losing against the anti-eco, pushed off B-plat. Those flashbangs, just too good.
Yeah.
And at this stage, you've got to be hitting AWP shots, got to be hitting those M4 shots. Unfortunate, but they have given themselves a chance. They're not coming to the next one completely out and down. 16-12, that was close. They know that they can take the fight towards Grayhound, and they just got to convince themselves that they can.
Yeah, well, it's not all over just yet here for Mineski. That is only map number 1. We do have potentially 2 more maps coming up in this series. First, though, we're going to hand it back over to the analysts and see what they have to say about that one there on Cobblestone.
Thank you very much, Jordan. And yes, 16-12, first map going in favor of the Australians, Grayhound. Now, considering that the half was 13-6, it's not a bad result, although it was a loss for Mineski, was it?
Yeah, I feel like Mineski definitely salvaged some pride in that later half of the second half, rather. So just to please the crowd just a little bit, Greyhound's letting it slip. But yeah, Mineski looked pretty tough there, and I'm glad I gave them the benefit of the doubt because they definitely delivered.
Indeed, they did. Now, for you guys, Nomad, you were the lone Mineski warrior on the Soldier. Unfortunately, they did go down that first map. How did you take that game?
Well, Mineski shined there, so to speak, because they were able to catch up to the lead the Grayhound was giving. And I think they should be able to turn things around after a quick talk behind the scenes. Maybe they'll be able to come back on our next map.
Yeah, well, like halfway through that first half, it was 5-1 down, and they just started changing the pace a little bit, played a bit more dynamic, and I mean, until that tactical pause from Grayhound, it looked like they had him on the offense, didn't they?
Well, the thing is, almost every game that they played for Grayhound is all one-sided, and of course, props to Mineski that they made everything close.
Yeah, I mean, we look at a couple of those players, the likes of Dubstep, I mean, coming up big, but then we noticed the bottom end of that ladder was a little bit underwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's disappointing for the Mineski team and the fans, I guess, is that just throughout that game, you just saw on the T side, while they got a couple of rounds, they had about 6 rounds, but at that point, they still had 2 players who were on single-digit kills. So they had G, I think it is, on 2 kills, and Hannibal on 2 kills. So towards the later half, G got a few more kills, but, you know, it was definitely seeming like 3 versus 5 for a lot of that first half. So once the whole team started to click a little, then, you know, Greyhounds kind of met their match, and they, you know, they clawed back a couple of rounds. But going into this next map, you're going to need to see a full team effort from Mineski if they're going to have any sort of chance.
Yeah, Nomad, I mean, you mentioned that Hannibal, he is the IGL, so, you know, not getting the stats, but, you know, sitting on 2 for a long while probably isn't the best, you know, the way to go about it.
Yeah, I think they should start playing a bit more aggressive, maybe invest in a bit more firepower, so to speak. Just rush in together as a team and don't hang back and just start popping flashes all willy-nilly.
Yeah, are Hannibal and G the kind of players that can post up numbers and really, you know, help work the team as a unit, or are they just kind of, do they rely on those key players in this lineup?
Well, it's undeniable that Dispenser and Dubstep really do rack up the kills there, but on their own, G and Hannibal can keep up with Dispenser and Dubstep. So I guess it's just a matter of the nerves setting in.
Yeah. So,
well, for me, Mineski really did a good game between Greyhounds, but I believe that Dispenser and Dubstep really did very well. Like, if they can carry over to that onto the next game.
yeah, so 16-12, unfortunately, that was their map pick. We're going to the Grayhound map pick, which is Inferno. I mean, the results haven't been the best, but in recent times, you mentioned MVP 16-10. They did lose. This is Mineski, but that's not a bad result against one of the best teams in Asia.
That's a pretty good result. I mean, it's something you would expect maybe the old Greyhound lineup to get against a class outfit like MVP. PK, but I think Mineski, we don't know how that game went for them. You know, were they all firing on all cylinders? Was it an online match? But the thing is, that just showing that they can get 10 rounds against a class outfit like MVP, that's kind of the caliber that Greyhound is in at the moment. So, and again, I'm going to have to say that Mineski kind of have a chance in this one still. They're not out of it yet.
Yeah, well, we will find out. The winner of this will go to the global final in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The loser, unfortunately, will be going home. The second map in this best-of-3 series between Greyhound and Mineski coming up after this short break. And welcome back. You are watching the second map of this epic best-of-3 between Grayhound and Mineski. Mineski, the last hope for the Philippine nation. Wait, did I even say that correctly? Would you call it the Philippine nation?
Should be correct, yeah.
Should be correct. Thanks for being so nice.
Seems like you can kind of get away with anything here.
Oh, I don't know about that, but what do these guys have to do to kind of bring it to Grayhound now? They're moving on to Grayhound's map. Can they even do anything, really? I mean, looking at the way that last one went, that was their map pick.
I mean, aggression is something that Mineski has. So, if anything, we saw for the first map that they can go full aggressive and make Greyhounds pay for it. So I think, especially in Inferno, they need to go all out.
Yeah, I mean, we did see it. We mentioned that window. There was like 5 or 6 rounds where Greyhound had no answer, but then their attack pause came in and they just kind of recalibrated and they found all the answers. It seemed like Mineski pushed that boundary further.
Yeah, for me, it just seems like pretty similar sort of signs we saw with Atletico coming into this tournament. They had to adjust to that Asian pace. So Greyhounds, they took that attack pause. They understood the gravity of what's happening, you know, how they're playing, very aggressive, very fast, like you say, Nomad. And you know, I think coming into this map, I want to see more Mineski aggression. I think that's the only way they can play. If they try to play the Aussie style or any other style that doesn't suit them, it's not going to work out well. So if they're playing full-on aggression, from having a look at the results against MVP where they lost 16-10, they got absolutely smashed on their CT side, but their T side, they still managed to get 7 rounds. So for me, it's going to be about them having aggression both on the CT side and on the T side.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, the winner of this map will go to the global final. Let's have a look at the bracket and how the other matches have played out. We're waiting on that Signature Fire Dragoon, and actually Signature coming up on top there is a little bit of an upset there, isn't it?
Well, no, possibly on paper, but I had a look at the teams while they were playing just before, and I saw some pretty bad signs coming out of Fire Dragoon. Maybe the inexperience and, you know, this sort of environment can bring out the worst in people, I guess. But I was sitting behind them, and there's just a few little mistakes they were making, and they were really nagging on each other. And, you know, you can't really have that once you come into a competitive environment. That's the kind of thing you want to have when you're just practicing, you know, always focusing on improving. But when you get to the actual competition, you don't want to be, you know, telling teammates how to play or, you know, saying they made mistakes. So I was sitting behind them while they were playing, and Signature actually put up some pretty good numbers, and then I went and watched them for a bit, and just I liked the way that they were playing, and I'm not surprised that they ended up winning 2-1.
Yeah, and Bill, we do see that second bracket is the lower bracket, but all on the same level here. The semi-final going into that, the place in KL, Malaysia, 5 Power against Signature, and we had a quick glance at 5 Power taking on Akara, and it looks like they were just kind of hugging. They were just kind of going out, and they were very comfortable in that. How do you see this 5 Power club lineup coming up against Signature?
Well, for me, I'm still gonna go to Signature, but 5 Power needs to get their composure for them to take out Signature. But I think, in terms of map pools, they need to get their comfortable map for them to win.
Yeah, Nomad.
Well, if 5 Power Club keeps playing the way they've been playing all throughout this tournament, they should be able to come out on top of the Signature, and I'm rooting for 5 Power Club here.
Yeah, I mean, they've been kind of just playing the way they play with their raw RAM, really dynamic, but you said, Ian, that they still have a lot in that draw card chest. Like, that war chest is really full, and they've not really used any of it.
It's pretty scary. I mean, they're just on another level. They're not even the dark horse. They're just, everyone's just like, yeah, oh yeah, that's 5 Power. They're probably going to make it through to the final. The way that they're playing, I saw them in that match. They weren't even talking to each other. They were just having a ball. They were just running around shooting stuff. It wasn't as BM as maybe last night against Atletico, where they were just shooting the dead bodies while the enemy's right next to them and still winning. But it was, you know, very relaxed and just take your time, play basic CS, and that's all they needed to do to come out on top. So I think Signature will maybe put on a couple of rounds, especially if 5 Power just playing like they did against Atletico. So either way, it's going to go to 5 Power. Yeah,
and I have to talk about it. We just had a look at the bracket there. 2 of these teams from these semi-finals will have the opportunity to go to that global grand final for the ASUS ROG Masters 2017 in KL, Malaysia. Now, for Mineski, what would it mean if they come away, if they reverse sweep this series 2-1, what would it mean for them to take on teams the likes of, you know, these European powerhouses, actually Gambit major winners? I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is a pretty big deal, and for Mineski, they've been struggling to come out of Southeast Asia. So as soon as they go to the global finals, that's going to be a big morale boost, because the slump that they've been outside of the Philippines would finally be broken, and they will have a shot in playing with the top-tier team. So winning this match, going for the reverse sweep, that's going to be something for them.
Yeah. Well, for me, just not to get that confident and just play chill, do your game, just be yourself, and maybe you can go to the Europeans, and of course be the champion.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I mean, Sniper, you've been there, done it all before, an opportunity to play teams of this caliber.
I haven't done it all. I mean, I guess winning would be doing it all, but I've been there and I've seen some guys win, so I guess that's doing it all.
Yeah, and this an opportunity like this is quite coveted. It's not that easy that you get to,
It's huge for the nation. I mean, it's huge for your region. It's everything. You know, the experience you learn coming up against those better players and having an opportunity to boot camp as well. You know, it makes you grow as a team and grow as people, and it's always better. You come back better, you come back fresh, and you know, your own hometown rivals aren't really able to scratch you anymore, and then they need to learn from you, and then that's how your whole region gets better. And I mean, being locked in a region like this is pretty tough. It's almost like an ELO hell of its own, so at least they get to verse Australia here, right, and get something out of that. So they might not win, but they're still taking home a lot of experience.
Yeah, and for the likes of Grayhound, this comes to the golden question. Is this on the back of their minds? They are one map away from Malaysia.
Yeah, I mean, don't want to screw up here, guys. You know, that's what they'll be thinking, because, I mean, that last map looked pretty easy, but then Mineski sort of found their form. A couple of the guys were struggling that first half, like we were saying. So let's see if they deliver this half, and, you know, we might have a game on our hands. But I think Greyhounds, they look pretty calm, relaxed. They're not really that phased, so I wouldn't expect them to be. You know, they've got a lot of experience themselves. They've been around the bush, but, well, as we say in Australia. But I think, you know, this is a foregone conclusion for them in their minds. So this next game against 5-Power is all they're really focusing on. And I don't see an opportunity for them to trip up against Mineski here.
Mineski, yeah. I mean, we spoke of Hannibal. His numbers weren't that impressive in that first map, but we're going into a do-or-die situation. You said he's a little bit older, quite a lot. There's a chance that he might be the oldest professional player in this competition right now. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how.
It sounds really rude. Deep end.
Just like, no, but I mean, he doesn't post up the numbers, but that experience in a situation like this is invaluable, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be extremely valuable for him to deliver it to, I mean, for Dispenser, for Dubstep. And right now, they just need to forget about everything that happened in Cobblestone, move forward, let the tensions dissipate from the back of their minds, and just start just going round by round here.
Yeah, I mean, will Mineski be able to dissipate the tension, as Nomad said, to find out if they can or not in this second map? We're going to Inferno, and here are your casters, Elfish Guy and Karat.
That's a good question, Danny, and I wonder if they are going to be able to come away with a victory here in map number 2. Now, Mineski obviously down 1-0 at the moment. It took them, I thought, a long time, or it took a couple of their players at least a long time to get into that matchup there against Grayhound. Do you think maybe having now played a map here already is going to give them any little bit of a hope against the Grayhound guys on Inferno?
We can always talk about warm-up, but I just feel like you have to come into the game just gears fully switched on.
Yep.
And you can't really just let yourself languish for a half. Imagine it could have been different. Imagine if Hannibal and Guy were making an impact on the T side.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It could have been a different story. So it's like, it doesn't matter about warm-up because your form coming in is separate towards how much warm-up you do. It's not like when you're exercising, you know, you do 2 hours, all right, I'm feeling good, I can push myself forward next time. Your form for Counter-Strike is completely separate.
Right.
So you could be feeling good, one map, you could be bad the next one.
Well, we'll have to see whether or not they're going to be feeling good in this map, and I think that that's pretty imperative for Mineski, actually, if they are going to be able to pick up a victory against Grayhound in this series, or indeed in this map. That's what they need to start off with, and then they have to focus on trying to get something done on Nuke. For now, though, Mineski starting off on the CT side. One might say that's maybe a little bit favourable here on Inferno, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a cause there. Hands an aggressive push into Banana there from Mineski. Does not work out too nicely as Dispenser does go down, and he's the player that Mineski needs to be stepping up here on Inferno. Dubstep! Oh, he had an opportunity there, but there was just one too many players for him to deal with. It's a big shot to the head, and Grayhound now starting to secure this B-bomb site. Dick Stacey, a nice frag for him. Mineski relying on just 2 players left.
But Guy, at the very least, taking Nana control does not allow Grayhound enough time to settle down. It's up to retrack, but he's just taken down by Dick Stacey very quickly. And now Guy at Barbecue, well, he's under a bit of pressure. He's going to be feeling a bit hot under the collar right now. 3 angles to be looking at, but if he takes all one-on-ones, maybe, just maybe there's a chance. There's the first angle he has to take. Gratisfaction, but Dexter will peek out as soon as contact is made.
Yep.
And Mineski will lose a pistol round.
Great work in that post plant there from Dexter, and obviously from the rest of Grayhound. They knew that they didn't need to peek. They weren't taking those 1v1s that you were talking about. Just playing as that 3-man unit secures themselves a pretty easy round. Again, another pistol round goes the way of Grayhound, so that's 3 from 3 here. And that's something that I think Mineski really needs to be on top of. They need to be finding these pistol rounds, because coming into it as the underdog, if you're dropping all the pistol rounds in every single map, I mean, that's really not the right way to start off trying to find an upset.
Yeah, all these grenades coming forward. Oh no, Dubstep loses his life. There was an HE grenade stack on the side of Mineski. They are rewarded with a bit of damage, but it's not enough to really justify the expenditure. You were hoping for a lot more kills. That's a great grenade from Dispenser. Now 2 members down towards 50 HP on the side of Grayhound, but they still have the opening pick. They have the map territory, they have the firepower. But as we know, doesn't matter if the firepower, it's the Australian anti-eco. At any time, they could drop it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but for now, Grayhound are looking pretty good in this one. Only a couple of bits of armor there as well for Mineski, but Dispenser finds Burn. That's not too bad, though, for Grayhound, because he's the player on the other side of the map. Retrack getting Dick Stacey. That's a bit more of a cause for concern, because now Grayhound entering that A-bomb site with only 3 players left alive. The rotation is already starting to come across from Mineski with that information of Burn going down in the banana. And Grayhound, they have to back out of that A-bomb site. Perhaps not the worst of ideas at this point, considering it's a bit of a stack there from Mineski. Lurking their way back over to B. And again, so is Mineski.
Dispenser absolutely critical at this position. The way that he's playing right now, it doesn't force the rotation. That is so critical. Sometimes you've got to make a gamble. Retrack making a gamble. Spots out a player, but doesn't know how many more are coming towards the A-bomb site. So maybe just overextending beyond the threshold too much. Now it's up to Hannibal to make an impact. And Hannibal, too many targets to find. You can't be spraying your CZ clip. It's got to be disciplined. And Grayhound have done well to kind of turn it back onto Gee. Kawaja's through. Nearly gets a second kill with the 5-7. Dispenser, UMP in hand, but no armor. Oh my goodness, the pre-fire. Flashbang's high, and that means that it blinds Dispenser and Gratisfaction. Well, they do manage to take the round, but it's a costly round on the back of a few strong Deagle picks. And Mineski is still looking alive in the contest.
Well, that's what you want to see out of these two teams. I'd like to see Mineski at least challenging Grayhound on this map. Don't want it to really be a whitewash 2-0. And for now, I mean, they've challenged Cobblestone. They weren't able to pick up the victory there. I think the job is even more difficult for them here on Inferno, but that's not to say that they can't pick up a sting to start off with on Inferno. A bit of a push down into the T stairs, and there's the bomb drop. So that's not too bad for Mineski, but the trade's now starting to come out for Grayhound, and just Retrack left alive. Grayhound have salvaged that round. Well, I mean, they didn't really salvage it. They had it from the beginning, but they've stabilized that round well enough that it's a pretty good anti-eco. Fairly expensive still. I mean, obviously losing so many guns in round number 2, but it'll be the bonus round out here from Grayhound. So let's find out what they can do with just the SMGs, the Galil as well. I mean, Gratisfaction with that AK. All eyes on him right now.
I'm still not certain on what I want to make with the Galil. As Mineski, they do have M4s in hands, no AWP, no incendiary grenades, and that's just going to make their job holding Nano a lot more difficult, especially if they go for open deals. Well, Burn can't really go on by himself. That just gives away his life too easily. Where's the utility coming out from the T side? They have to get up Nano control. Now they're coming fast top mid, but Mineski still holding their ground.
For now, Grayhound, though, with some fairly decent map control, they can make their way into the A-bomb side, and Dexter going to be pretty critical. The re-smoke does come out there from Mineski, but there's a bit of a hole for him to work with and see if he can spot much. Not really seeing too much, though.
That might be a costly error, because Dexter's now allowed a decent angle on towards the boxes on the side if he does decide to go for it. Mineski has no further information towards Nana either.
Yeah, so Hannibal right now floating over to the jungle position. We're going to see Greyhounds crossing the arches, and he doesn't have that information yet that there's 2 players that have gone across. He just hasn't seen them. So
he would have heard it. He would have heard it.
That's a pretty critical, maybe error even from him, as Hannibal comes around the corner and finds a couple of kills. Retrack gets 1 as well, and that's probably enough for Mineski here to be able to close this round out. It's a 3 versus 1, sorry, for Dexter to deal with. He only has a MAC-10. You really can't back him in this kind of a situation. If he even gets 1 frag here, that's going to be a bonus for Grayhound, but Hercast jumping there. I'm not sure what that was for.
There it is, Mineski. Take the first buy round, 3 rifles up. That's critical. And Grayhound just a little lapse in concentration, and it allows Hannibal to strike. And that's a start that you want to see coming out from Hannibal. He had a rough start for the first half, but if you have all 5 members holding onto their bomb sites, holding on A, holding on B, it's going to make their CT half that much easier. But they are liable for the reset as Grayhound are going to be forcing up. They have a lot of guns to work with, obviously, after the SMGs from the previous round.
Yep.
They also have an AWP in the hands of Gratisfaction to retrack. Well, he's going to have to pull out some swag indeed with a MAG-7.
Oh, well, the MAG-7's definitely not a bad gun. Used quite a lot on Inferno as well. We'll see what he can make do of it with that boiler position. Gratisfaction, though, opening things up with the AWP. That's the standard plan, really, for Grayhound. If Gratisfaction does have that AWP in his hands and they can get him in early positions, he's always able to make something happen for them, and he's managed to do it again here up against Mineski, as now Grayhound start to at least put some presence into Banana, but not actually committing to it. So Hannibal will know that. Over on the A-bomb site, Dexter just on his lonesome. How he likes to play there for Grayhound. Solo has managed to find himself another frag, and it's 3 versus 5. Grayhound slowly but surely making their way into this round and making their way to the top of Banana, to the top of A.
Possibly the only mistake you can fault Mineski for that round is Dispenser just peeking out at Nana without any utility. Maybe there's a flashbang, but you need the smokes and incendiary grenades to do so, otherwise it's quite foolish. And now Dexter also finds Gee on the site. Perfect Molotov on Dubstep. He has to swing out wide. He will be able to find the timing just, but all the Grayhound ready for the trade, because Inferno is just one of the maps. You lose one member, it just starts becoming a cataclysm where Mineski are doing the right thing. They've got to push or play aggressive for information, but there's another pick over here. Grayhound, they're waiting for it, they're expecting it. They lose one more member, and this is kind of like the nightmare territory. All right, Hannibal's got cash. Where's the rest of the money? It's non-existent.
Yeah, and Grayhound now have reset Mineski, so we're not going to be expecting to see much out of them in this round, although admittedly they have been pretty good with their pistols throughout this entire series so far. But at the moment, it seems like we're heading for a very similar scoreline to what we saw there on Cobblestone, which at one point was 5-1 for Grayhound. They started off with the pistol. They did pretty well in the first couple of gun rounds. And again, looks like 5-1 is on the cards here for Grayhound.
Who knows, though? The Deagle's definitely potent in the hands of Dispenser. They've got this aggressive Nana control, so Grayhound just waiting for any aggression. Mineski not giving too many easy opportunities over. It's going to force Grayhound to start utilizing utility as well as entries. And oh, nice one, Deag. Dispenser, he's looking for more, though. He wants more, but Gratisfaction and Burn, they know where the angles of the pistols are at. They'll be able to get the kills, and now Dubstep has to... The double smoke's not too bad of an idea, especially if it's deep. It kind of disorientates the CTs, doesn't allow them to push forward so easily. It's going to deter them for now.
All right, well, 3 versus 4. The retake attempt for Mineski here really relies on Dubstep finding something. He's going to try and deny the bomb plant. Does actually get Gratisfaction, but the bomb does go down in the end regardless, as Burn trades out Dubstep. So not really much of a better situation for Mineski from here on out. Hannibal has got himself the Deagle, and he was the one that took a while to wake up on Cobblestone. So
Can't really,
not having much of an impact right now on Inferno either.
Okay, so they're just waiting for exits. I was just going, all right, what are they doing? It looks like they're just waiting for any opportunities to present themselves and retrack. Oh, Dexter knows. I'm not sure if retrack made noise, but you either have to check towards CT or you have to check towards Nana, because at that stage when you're expecting 2 people to be there.
Hannibal's just found himself,
an AK, but I don't think Mineski still have enough to buy in the next round. They're going to have to be eco. It's going to be a terrible force buy, and you don't want to be forcing that money.
Well, they are.
They are, but where's the utility? Okay, Dispenser's got a smoke and a flashbang. What's Retrack going to have? Is it go for the FAMAS or a UMP?
Hannibal here can drop a rifle or go for full utility.
You've got to go for utility. You can't win Inferno with firepower.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a team which are the underdogs. They don't have the same amount of mechanical ability to go toe-to-toe with Grayhound. They have to utilize their utility wisely.
Well, right now they've got a decent amount of utility. I mean, it's not everything, but when all things are considered, that's still enough that could potentially hold Grayhound out for quite a while. And so far, so good for Mineski again, as Grayhound kind of just set up default. They've got a bit of presence in Banana here. This time again, it's going to be Burn and Gratisfaction trying to make an opening over there. So it seems like the dynamic duo of Greyhounds, at least for this area of the map. Mineski quite safe and sound right now on the A-bomb site, but I mean, holding towards the cutout and on the arch side corner. It's a little bit more of an aggressive hold than what we've seen out from Mineski, and perhaps it's going to pay out for them as Hannibal, well, Nocast is aware of his position there. Gee, able to get one, but the trades are there for Grayhound, and again, it just seems so easy for them to just walk into this A-bomb site or into the Banana and find the positive trades.
And they're just taking their time, just waiting for Mineski to go on the aggression. They can buy the time, they can just wait forever before these smoke grenades fade out. They've got 45 seconds in the round. There's still the soft lurk by Burn to try to draw attention back towards Nana. This is all up to Retrack and Dubstep to step up. But with these inferior rifles, I mean, do you really think they can? Well, Retrack gets one. Oh, Dubstep also steps up. That's on the tag member, and that's where Gee, with the FAMAS earlier on, doing damage is really beneficial. Now down towards a 2-on-3. This is favorable on the side of Mineski, but Gratisfaction has to get the entry on towards the side. Dispenser gets one. Good flick from Gratisfaction, but he knows where Dispenser is. Misses a shot. 15 seconds, still time to work with. Dancing around, misses another shot. Dispenser given so many chances. I'm not certain what to make of this from Gratisfaction, but Dispenser will not charge in. He's just going to be waiting, just trying to find an angle. They're dropping off, and Dispenser.
Well, now he's got a much more difficult job because that's a great plant there for Gratisfaction. He gets the tag through the box as well. Dispenser hits the headshot and Gratisfaction goes down. Great clutch there from Dispenser, and it's going to be another round there for Mineski, which is desperately what they needed.
That was a good clutch, but at the same time, I mean, Gratisfaction missing so many AWP shots that you expect an AWP to hit, and then trying to cross in the open. After he tags one, it's like, yeah.
I don't think he needed to be doing that. You know.
No, he didn't. And it's, yeah, sure, they're up 5-1. And Dispenser played really well to make the clutch happen.
Oh, well.
But do you want to give these opportunities away to a team that can push you?
No, you don't. But it is what it is, Kevin.
It is what it is.
We're at 5-2. Grayhound have got to buy through. Again, the opportunity for them now to reset that economy of Mineski. And they had a bit of a stack over towards the B-bomb site. A lot of utilities being used by Mineski into the banana. So far, hasn't really affected Grayhound all that much. But Dispenser, a little bit more of an aggressive push than we're used to. Burn is ready for it, though, as he does take him down. But a lot of damage done to both Urcast and Burn. Mineski still in with a shot in this round.
But losing his life very early on, it does mean that Mineski have to concede map control, but retrack, I guess you don't have to concede map control if you get kills towards apps, as that will slow Grayhound on their top mid control. So Mineski have done some good work early on. Damage, even though Dispenser doesn't get the kill, damage, which is putting Burn within 1-shot range, Urcast within a 2-shot range for the M4s, as well as a pick on Dexter.
Only 2 players over towards the A-bomb site right now, though. And that's where the weeks is going to lie for Mineski. It's pretty tough for them to hold on to this. If Dubstep misses a shot, they could get overwhelmed, but who knows? Grayhound starting to go back to B.
I don't like this because, Gee, why do you need to rotate at this stage, right? Smokes are thrown out, but you're still someone holding this jungle area. You don't need to rotate. That's good for him to realize that there is probably another more dangerous area in Gee. Oh my goodness, you can't dry peek into this. There's the flashbang just in time, but Incendiary Grenade is good, but it allows Burn to come out first. Hannibal on second oranges, finds one, but needs to back off. He gives his life for a 1-for-1 trade. That's probably not favorable considering Burn was 11 HP. Dick Stacy going for the plant, risky, but he'll deny the bomb plant. Where's the cover coming out from Grayhound? Where's the clearance? Dubstep with the AWP, finds one before Gratisfaction. Last man left standing, 1 or 2. Has to take down this member on the side. He will, has to go for the plant as well. Where is the push from Retrack? There is time for the plant. Retrack coming in fast, guns out for both sides. Gratisfaction just dancing behind the fountain. But now Gratisfaction will lose another 1-on-1, and Mineski another 1-on-1 clutch in their favor. Retrack stepping up for the locals.
It's always coming down to those clutch situations here for Mineski, and while they are winning it, I guess it's good news, but you don't want to be allowing it to get to those situations time after time after time after time, because you cannot always rely on those clutches to be going your way. And as soon as one goes the way of Grayhound, Mineski's going to be back on an eco. So for now, Mineski are doing a good job to come back into it, but I think we need to see some more solid rounds out from them pretty soon.
But certainly for Greyhounds as well. This is shaky from them at the moment. These are rounds where you're probably going, why are they trying to plant with no cover? Why is no one clearing a very, very common angle at coils? I'd be suspecting that Mineski had another player. I clear it out, Molotov smoke, or manpower. I don't know. I have to throw someone. For the fact that they didn't, they're getting complacent, and Mineski are punishing them.
They are being punished, that's for sure. But it's still early days here. So at the moment, Grayhound have got 5 rounds on their T side. You really can't be complaining about that. They're still in a favourable position right now. So despite the fact that they've lost 2 clutches, 2 very close rounds in a row, I'm still not that concerned right now, actually, for Grayhound.
Of course not. But it's still early days. I mean, we don't know where this round's going to go. But if Mineski are allowed to get that momentum going forward, allow the advantages to start getting a few more confidence on this B-side play. I mean, Dispenser, that's not something you should be doing, right? Smoke, you know Greyhound's economy is bad. You don't need to be pushing behind the smoke because this isn't very easy grants over. They just went towards Greyhound. Look, we did some good work just then. We're just going to throw it all away. And Gee, trying his best, he's rotated fast over. But at that stage, you've already lost the B bomb site. Bomb plant's going to go down. Your member's not even rotating. You're just going to have to save. Yeah. Those are rounds that you don't want to be throwing away. There is no need for aggression behind a smoke. Why are you pushing through your own smoke grenade to get information? You don't need to do that.
I don't even know if Gee's going to be able to save at this point because Grayhound, if he crosses there into CT, he's okay, he's across. No one was really watching it from Grayhound, but I thought maybe if he got the timing wrong, someone's watching down the CT line, he could have been in a bit of trouble, but Mineski should get out of this one with 3 guns alive. Can see Dexter's going for a little bit of a push in towards the A-bomb side, but I don't think he's going to get all the way up to Library in this time, so
it's not worth risking it. Greyhound's economy is not in the best shape as well, so you don't want to be pushing in right now and going, all right, here's a free AK-47, here's more damage towards our very poor economy. Mineski will force on the back of the 3 saved weapons. Hannibal might just go for a CZ and armor, but at the very least, an AWP or 2 M4s to try to do damage alongside with the UMP. And Dispenser, he's done damage, but he's losing this Nana control from Mineski, and I don't like how they're holding Nana. I really don't like it.
Again, lots of control into the banana area early on from Grayhound, and Mineski don't really have the utilities to be challenging that too much. Retracts over towards the A-bomb side. He's the one with the most utility. Spencer is over towards B still, but he's decided to hang on to his smoke and his incendiary for now at least, but he is actually holding it, literally holding it, waiting to throw it out should Dubstep call for it, and perhaps he will there as the opening does go the way of Mineski this time. That's the first time in a while, actually, that Mineski has had the advantage, as now Grayhound is going to push through to Spencer, biding his time there in the smoke. Dubstep gets 2, a collateral, and that's going to probably be the round over here for Grayhound, as Mineski cleaned it up very cleanly.
That's much better. You don't need to be willy-nilly charging into Nana. You just have to play it patiently, play off each other, and that is a perfect Nana hold from Mineski. So much better. And they are rightfully given a round victory. Nice shot from the Dubstep though. 3 kills with the saved AWP, and sometimes that's what we're talking about. Those save weapons so critical, and Guy doing work alongside. Like, just Guy doing work right now at the apartments area. It's making Dexter's life very uncomfortable, and now it might start forcing Grayhound to start utilizing more numbers to take control of the apps area.
Oh, well, let's see a little bit more confidence down here from Mineski. We did see the confidence, but it hasn't worked out too well for them. Dubstep taking that line in banana, taking the challenge, and, well, it was answered pretty well there by Gratisfaction. That Galil as well, but oh well. Mineski still have the players on the field here to potentially challenge Grayhound, but Grayhound are going very quickly now into the A-bomb site. Really not slowing down, really not letting up the pressure right now on Mineski as they wrap all the way around. There are 3 players over this side of the map. Hannibal gets the first, but the trades are there for Grayhound, and it's really Hannibal that has to come up big right now. And not quite going to be able to do that. Guy finds 2, and all of a sudden, now we're again at a 1v1. As Grayhound are going to be hoping that Dexter can clutch it out. In the end, it is Dispenser. Another clutch goes the way of Mineski.
Another clutch going the way of Dispenser as well. And all the members from Mineski just showing that you don't need to be individually brilliant. Team effort, 1 person putting in 2 kills. Small signs of trouble though from Mineski in terms of losing so many guns. That I think it was Guy playing Archers where he had a flashbang out for about 3 seconds. Any other team, he would have been punished. It was a fast jungle push. So he does need to be cautious. You don't want to be caught out as grenades. Heavy damage, Greyhounds on the eco, just pushing fast up top mid.
Yeah, a lot of damage there onto all of those Greyhound players. I mean, Dick Stacey gets away with the best of it, but even he gets tagged up a tiny little bit. And it should be relatively straightforward. Hannibal spraying down 4. Great work from him. Mineski equalize it at 6 apiece.
And this is what I always go back down towards. You lose those one-on-one clutches. Doesn't seem like a lot, Jordan, but we're tied 6 apiece.
Yeah, indeed. And that's, what, 3 rounds now that could be in the favor of Grayhound. I mean, who's to say we couldn't be at 9-3 right now?
Exactly. 9-3, that would be demoralizing the CT side, but 6 rounds on the CT side is really good. You have to consider, given that the T side's a lot stronger in terms of the economy game, for Mineski to just start pulling away, starting to get these rounds, they're stepping up, but not if Dubstep gets completely booked through the apartment wall. So that's what I mean. Grayhound will start trying to take apartments control because Guy has gone too aggressive too many times. They're going to start spraying through. They're going to start using Molotovs. And Dubstep losing the AWP very early on. Retrack will be able to retrieve it. But down a member early on. And Grayhound have been able to utilize these numbers quite efficiently so far.
Yeah, a lot of the time we are seeing Grayhound get that first pick in the round. And it's resulted in them picking up a couple. But for now, just playing it safe. Looks like it's going to be more of an A push. Again, it's Burn over towards the B-bomb side in the banana. Retrack, though, gets Gratisfaction and no trade there as he swindles his way back out onto the A-bomb side.
That's critical. Retrack knew he had to make a risk, makes it work out with the AWP pick, and we've seen this man get a few nice AWP shots as well as clutches, so he's going to actually drop back towards the A1S. A little bit more versatility, and that's understandable. If you're boxed in, you don't want to be sitting with an AWP with no wave, doing more damage or trading yourself out. At the very least, you miss 2 shots, you still got 18 more to miss.
Yeah, well,
or hit.
If you miss 2 shots with the AWP, you're probably dead at that point. So Grayhound here, not in the worst of positions, but starting to wrap around through Arch, through jungle. Waiting for some sort of hint from Grayhound here. They've only got 15 seconds left to go. need to be making some inroads into this A bomb site right now. If the bomb does get dropped, that's going to be huge for Mineski, and Retrack does get Urcast. In the meanwhile, Dick Stacey is getting the bomb down. Not quite in time, I don't think, because he will be taken out, and Mineski take away the round. Grayhound just took that one too late.
Biting, but running out of time. And now the tactical pause coming forward for Grayhound. But Mineski now in the lead.
Yeah,
it's a very tiny lead, mind you, but the CT half of 7 rounds. I'm pretty happy with 7 rounds if I was a CT side for Mineski.
Yeah.
Given the start, once again, you always got to look at the context. You're down 5-1, and you've come back. You've traded 6 rounds for 1. That's big.
It's a good time for a tactical pause out here from Grayhound. If they can pull off the next round, they can pull off 2 maybe. It suddenly makes the half look a lot better for them. I mean, even still, like 6 rounds on the T side here of Inferno, I think they've done pretty well. Obviously, a lot more rounds could have gone into their back pocket, but at the end of the day, 6 rounds is enough on the T side of Inferno. And remember, this is their map.
All right, let's take away any of the other factors, right? Let's take away the team names. If it was 2 even match teams, do you think 6 rounds of the T side's good enough? Because I don't.
I do.
Okay. There it is. End of discussion. Let's get back into the game.
All right, let's see whether or not it's going to be the case. I mean, look, Grayhound still has the opportunity to turn this in from 6 to 7 to 8 even. And I think you could probably even agree with me, Kevin, that one is probably going to be enough because, I mean, 8 rounds on the T side, that's more than what you can hope for. But right now, Grayhound, it's just Bisalama. They've already been tagged down quite a bit. So at the moment, we're probably expecting Mineski to go through to 8.
There's still also Mineski's T side, which we haven't seen. So it's, I mean, half a tale has been told so far. Mineski coming up clutch with the clutches. So how's it going to go as Grayhound coming in 1 by 1, needs to start pushing together. That's a nice shot from Gratisfaction. They retrieved themselves an M4, and now Mineski just huddling on the A bomb site, just going to be holding out against the push that's coming out from Grayhound. There it is. Dubstep going to be spotting a few out alongside with Retrack, but Dubstep losing his life. Dispenser now coming forward. That's critical. Retrack and Dispenser will be able to close. Will be able to clean up. They'll have money to buy up, so they don't worry about losing too many guns. And Grayhound, they'll have a lot of utility to work with, but they have to take this round to make this into a decent half for them. Given that they're up 5-1, a 6-9.5 is not good enough when you're up 5-1 on Inferno.
No, not really. But let's see what Grayhound can do in this final round of the half. Mineski, it's been a good fight back, and you think maybe it is enough if they can get to 9-6 here. We'll see. We'll see what Grayhound can get for us here in the
Look at this
half.
aggression. Look at this aggression coming out from Mineski right now. There's just a relentless push, burn, as well as Gratisfaction force back. And this is a complete change-up. I love it.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Grayhound would have been expecting that, but still Grayhound can actually roll over Retrack here, and then the A bomb site is more or less open. Dick Stacey, though, the timing perhaps a little late if he would have pushed out right now, and Retrack gets back towards the A bomb site. He's watching the angle, seeing if Dexter will peek out, and does take a shot through that wall, so he's still alive for now, but the information is given over to Mineski. Grayhound can have control of the apartments. Dick Stacey, great timing out of Boiler. We'll get one before Dexter gets traded out, and Dispenser and Guy once again coming up big here for Mineski. It is just Gratisfaction left alive now, and it does seem as though Mineski will be making their way through to 9 rounds. 4 versus 1. Gratisfaction not able to get the job done. And that's 9 there for Mineski, 6 for Grayhound, Kevin. You asked me the question, barring any other external factors, is 6-9 enough? I said I thought maybe it is. I want to ask you the question, considering it is Grayhound, considering it is Mineski, considering it is Grayhound's map choice, is 6 enough for Grayhound?
That's the question Mineski has to ask themselves. Do they think the T-side strategies are good enough? If so, how good? This is their test right now. They lose this, they lose their T-half. Their destiny's in their own hands right now.
Yep.
There's no other, in terms of, CT side, if you're not firing up the T side, enemy T side is better, not much you can really do. But right now, you're the T side, you're the one dictating the terms. You're the ones who need to take this to bring it to the 3rd map to kind of bring it back for your hopes of making it towards, the finals of the Masters stage for ASUS ROG.
Yeah, I mean, ASUS ROG Masters Global Finals in Kuala Lumpur. That's what both of these two teams are playing for right now. Grayhound is 1 half away. If they win this half, win this map, they come away with a victory, and we headed over to Kuala Lumpur in what is about maybe about a month or so, joining a few of those big name teams. We know Tai Lu's going, we know Mouse Sports is going, so that's going to be some pretty good experience for Grayhound if they can get their way there. But then the similar sort of side of the coin is Mineski would love that experience as well, but it's not over just yet for either of these two teams. Both of them still fighting here. And of course, tomorrow they also have a best-of-3 to play up against the winner of the other match that's going on right now for that seeding into the ROG Masters Global Finals. That's a story for another day right now, though, as we do head into the second half. Grayhound on the CT side, 6 rounds is what they got on the T side. And Mineski, if they can pull off this pistol, they're going to put themselves in a great position.
They'll be able to get into pit. That is so critical that they don't take any damage. They also do output a few bullets in towards Dexter's head. Oh, it's just tagging up the armor, and now the full retake will commence, and Retrack, he's in a critical position, and Retrack finding one. Can he find the second? Doesn't matter actually at this stage, because he's safe and sound. Gratisfaction will try to shut him down, but Retrack can just buy time before Urcast puts him out of his misery. Still a 4-on-4 retake. There is a kit on the side of Urcast as well as a smoke grenade. The plan is for default. Gratisfaction wins the duel against Hannibal. That might be a critical thing, but Dispenser's still alive, ready to dispense out damage. Dispenser picking up 2-3 as well, and D finishing things off. Mineski picking up a pistol. They're up towards double digits first, and Grayhound on the CT side going to be probably force buying at this stage because they do need to start doing damage. They need to try and force their way back in because they're the ones now that are firmly down.
Once again, it's the Dispenser show here for Mineski, and it wasn't quite enough to pull them over the line there on Cobblestone, but right now, sitting on 18 frags, 7 deaths here on Inferno, having a massive impact. Mineski now, they are poised potentially to close out map number 2. 16 rounds is what they need. They're on 10, so not far away. Grayhound, as you say, have decided to force buy into this round. Gratisfaction with that scout. It's quite dangerous with that weapon.
And Mineski, they just have to slow things down, just talk things through. Don't want to let it bleed too late, but they can't let these nerves jitter them. They're up ahead, but we've seen so many times underdog teams ahead blow the lead because they play a little bit sloppy. They are a little bit too agitated. They go in too quickly. Take your time, work things out, and clean up the rounds. And you know you've got the players to do so. I mean, Dispenser's been tagged out, but everyone on Mineski are firing right now. I mean, they're on like 4 cylinders, and not Dubstep, but Dispenser is on like 8 cylinders. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's gone ham at the moment. And let's see what Grayhound have got for us here over on the B-bomb site. Burn with that Deagle, ever deadly. And Urcast has got his CZ to clean things up if Burn can't get it done. Rotation though, out of Urcast, backwards and forwards. He's not sure where he wants to go right now, but still sitting in that smoke, waiting potentially for the push. He actually crosses into the B-bomb site. Oh, Burn just gets absolutely domed by Dubstep. Push into the B-bomb site now from Mineski. Unless Urcast can come up with something massive here, there's not really going to be much of a chance, as he will indeed be going down. Hannibal farming up, Retrack farming up as well. The MAC-10's doing a lot of damage.
And that's such a clean round coming forward. 5 guns alive for Mineski. Grayhound, another eco, another round of pain, unless they can make USPs work out. I don't think so. And Mineski poised to upset. They still have 4 more rounds to clean up, though, after this anti-eco. Those rounds are the ones that are the most dangerous.
Those are the difficult ones indeed. Obviously, they've started off nicely here in the second half, but it's not the end of the world just yet for Grayhound. They are a good team at coming back from behind as well. A lot of mental fortitude in them. We saw it from them. I mean, obviously, I think at the end it was Athletico that was coming back on the first map of Overpass, but to push it through the tiebreak or into the overtime, Grayhound still did end up winning that map. So I wonder if Mineski, even if they do get to say 15, is Grayhound going to give it up there and then? Or will we find ourselves with a very long map here on Inferno? I guess we'll find out shortly. Urcast, though, with the USB. Not much that we can expect him to be getting done there. Just peeking for the information. And he does get the information, spots out at least one of those players, maybe a couple. This rotation is now starting to come across from Grayhound. You can see Gratisfaction making his way over to the B-bomb site. But the entry is looking pretty good here so far from Mineski. No frags just yet, but a lot of control over that bomb site already. A lot of angles that they can hold now. Burn under pressure. Will be taken down by Dispenser, who does get taken down by Urcast, but overall, that's a decent enough entry from Mineski, and Retrack should get Urcast here.
Urcast trying his best. You can't really find much, though, with the USP. Dick Stacy just trying to do any damage he can as he waits for Dexter to pick up a few exits. But this round should be over and done for. Mineski now up 12-6. A lot of money to work with. The question is Hannibal going to keep the MAC-10 or is he going to go for the AK-47? That's probably going to be indicative of what mood Mineski are going to be in. I think they're going to buy up into all AK-47s. You don't want to be giving an easy round to relinquish the pressure right now, given that you're in such a critical moment of this game.
Definitely not.
I mean, if it was like 3-0, yeah, sure, you take SMGs forward, bonus round, but right now 12-6, this is your chance to pile on the hurt. This is your chance to upset and bring it towards map number 3.
I mean, it is only one Mac 10, though, for Mineski, so you can probably get away with that, in all honesty.
Yeah, so sticking with the Mac 10, that's all right.
No head armor at all for Grayhound either. Oh, no, he's not stuck with it. There we
let's
go.
go for the AK. So that's
the AWP, the full AK buyout from Mineski.
And they realize this is a very critical round because they take this, they force Grayhound to another eco. That's effectively 14-6 secured because Mineski was pretty on point so far with their anti-ecos.
Certainly have. Grayhound losing, well, no, finding the first frag actually. Dick Stacey, he gets dispensed up.
Yeah, can't be going, you've got this utility to work with, you have time to work. Don't be giving away one-on-one opportunities, and they're a little bit struggled out for now. Hannibal, where's the push coming forward from the other teammates? Going to be non-existent. You can't be doing this as Mineski at this stage. You can't be coming out one by one. Where's the backup? They're behind smoke. You can't charge in and expect a miracle every single time.
No. This is not great from Mineski, but to be fair, it is only the first gun round of this half. First real gun round anyway. So plenty of time for Mineski here to figure out what the CTs are doing, what they need to do on their T side. And this round's not necessarily over just yet.
Absolutely not, but they definitely don't put themselves in good standing by getting one person push out mid in the first 20 seconds and another one by himself 20 seconds later. That's not how you win rounds. That's never how you're going to win Inferno.
No.
It would have been better. It would have been better to have a 5-man death ball and push mid all together than have one person going in one by one. You have more chances of trading out effectively. And Smoke's coming in pit as well as the end of balcony. Oh, the end of balcony smoke is missed. This is going to be a little dangerous, but Retrack will be able to get down safely before Dick Stacey takes him out. And there's the crossfire. Nothing that Dubstep can do at this stage. And Mineski, that's really bad because it allows Grayhound 5 weapons up.
Yeah, a bit of a sniff back into this one now for Grayhound, excusing the pun. Still a FAMAS there for Burn, but the rest of the rifles are looking pretty good there for Grayhound. Gratisfaction, okay, he does have utility to play with. It's great news now for Grayhound.
They all have utility to play with because 5 weapons up. 2 AKs taken towards M4. Burn couldn't grab an AK-47 M4 in time, wrong site. Mineski, another chance to try to do some damage, but their economy is a little bit drained given that they did buy up a few AK-7s in the previous round. They did get the AWP, so you could expect Dubstep to not have much more in the tank. Hannibal should still have about 3K, and the rest of the members maybe at 1 or 2K. And this is much better. You're going together, all right? It's better than going in one by one. Dispenser, where's the trades going forward? Hannibal, at the very least, making things exciting towards Diggity, but the Molotov's doing further damage. Dick Stacey, he's missing a lot of shots, and that might be what Mineski need. Down towards the 2-on-3. Hannibal's tagged down low, but still a chance on a very, very strong A site.
Yeah, there's not much of an opportunity for Mineski to actually get off that bomb site, so the post plan here is